Good evening, everybody. Good Monday evening to you. Had to think about that here for a minute. April 8th, 2024, also known as Eclipse Day. Let us know in chat if you got to be in the path of totality earlier today. Of course, we brought you the live eclipse coverage stream by Jarvis and Dave Neal earlier today. They did an outstanding job on that. And of course, all of our storm chasers out in the field. But this stream is not to talk about the eclipse. This is to talk about the severe weather that we've had already tonight and for what's going to be coming up over the next several days. Let me check my audio. Yep, sounds great. So, sounds like Jarvis, you still got that music going in the background. That's a good song. But again, we've had a lot of hailstorms tonight. We've got a tornado watch across eastern Texas, parts of northwestern Louisiana. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch also in Texas. That's the pink shaded colors you see there from Abilene over to near Midland and up to Lubbock, Texas. That's mainly for damaging winds and large hail. And then again, the tornado watch is for some tornadoes and some damaging wind, large hail across East Texas, northwestern Louisiana. So there you go on the severe thunderstorm watch. Goes until 11 o'clock Central Time. Max winds up to 75 miles per hour in some locations. 3-inch hail as well. And then your tornado watch goes until 1 a.m. tomorrow morning for a few tornadoes. Thankfully, we've not seen a whole lot of tornadoes in this area, but some flash flooding is starting to become an issue there near Shreveport, Louisiana, and just east of Tyler, Texas. All those green flashing boxes that are going to be your flash flood warnings in that area. But again, thankfully, not a lot of tornado activity. We did have a couple tornado warnings earlier down in Texas, but I didn't see any tornado report. So again, like I said just a few minutes ago, mainly some very large hail. We even had some very large hail in parts of Tennessee earlier today. Just east of Memphis, we had some golf ball to ping pong ball size hail near the Bolivar, Tennessee area, all the way up through the Jackson, Tennessee area. And that storm finally weakened as it got up towards the Clarksville, Tennessee area. But again, some pretty big hailstorms in Tennessee outside of that primary risk area for today. Good evening to you, OMT. Bluebird sky couldn't get any better. Awesome. Glad to see that you were able to take part of that eclipse today. You guys let us know where you're watching from this evening. It's rather late, so I don't know how many will have tune in. But again, we just wanted to jump in for a few minutes and talk about, again, the widespread severe weather threat that we've got for the next several days. Quickly, I'll go over to our SPC outlook for the rest of the night and into tomorrow morning. This technically goes through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That continues to be a level 3 enhanced risk in that orange shade of color from Shreveport, Louisiana, back through Dallas, Wichita Falls, Texas, and Abilene. The shade of yellow that you see there, that's that level 2 risk, slight risk, and that's, of course, surrounded by that level 1 green, marginal risk, a few scattered storms possible in the green shade of color. Like I said earlier, that's primarily for large hail. As we go over and look at our specific indications from the Weather Service, from the Storm Prediction Center, there's your hail outlook. So again, a very large risk for some large hail continuing throughout the overnight hours tonight. Tornado threat, not significant. Thankfully, we've got about a 5% risk of tornadoes, again, from Shreveport, Waco, Dallas, Wichita Falls. And the damaging wind threat is there as well. But again, primarily, we're talking about a hail threat for tonight. Now, let's go back to our day one outlook, just the standard categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. As I get my mouse to cooperate, there you go. So check this out, what happens as we go from tonight into tomorrow morning and the rest of the day tomorrow. I bet you're not going to be able to tell I changed this map a whole lot. That's tomorrow's risk, so it didn't shift a whole lot. Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Waco, over to Shreveport, western parts of Louisiana. That's tomorrow's outlook, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning through 7 a.m. Wednesday morning. And this, unfortunately, does have a little bit higher risk of tornadoes there, that yellow shade of color. And we can zoom in and get you a few more cities that's involved there. Houston, Texas, over to Katy, Bryan, Texas, up to Palestine, Lufkin, the Nacogdoches area, almost messed that up. Huntsville, Texas, over to Beaumont, and then finally Lake Charles, Louisiana, over to Alexandria, and the Natchitoches, Louisiana area, again, higher risk for tornadoes than what we've seen all day today. So that's that 10% risk from the Storm Prediction Center for some tornadoes as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Let's flip that over to our hail probability. So there again, just like today, very large hail possible from San Antonio over to Houston, up to Tyler, Texas, Waco, and Austin. And then as we look at our damaging wind threat for tomorrow, a little bit further east, but a significant threat of damaging winds as well. As we look at our significant tornado risk, so this is where we may have EF2 or stronger tornadoes. We do have an area, as you see highlighted there, hatched from just northeast of Houston up through western Louisiana again. So we'll have to watch that area that we just talked about in that enhanced risk for tomorrow, including the Jasper, Texas area, for a few strong tornadoes. There's your significant hail outlook. So this just blanks all the colors off the map and just shows you where we may have some monster size hail for tomorrow, everywhere you see inside that hatched color. And finally, significant wind threat for tomorrow. Don't see that on the board just yet. So mainly a hail and a tornado risk for tomorrow. And there's your normal colors that you're used to seeing there as well. Again, level 3 out of 5. Let's go one more day in the future. There's your day 3 risk. This is Wednesday. So like we said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days of enhanced risk. This is going to be primarily across the Gulf Coast region. So southern parts of Mississippi, southern parts of Alabama, coastal Louisiana, all the way up into parts of east central and northeast Louisiana. That's a level 3 out of 5 risk. As we go on in, get you a few more cities involved there. Again, Jackson, Mississippi, over to Meridian, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Biloxi, Mississippi, down to New Orleans, all the way over to Lafayette in Louisiana, all the way back to Lake Charles. And again, getting close to Monroe, Louisiana in that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. Let's go over just like we did on the other one. And let's look at we don't have the individual outlooks yet for the tornado and the hail and the wind. We'll get that on the day 2. But there's your probabilistic outlook again, showing that highlighted area, mainly from New Orleans up to Jackson, Mississippi, Alexandria, Louisiana, over to Mobile, Alabama, for being the primary areas for severe weather on Wednesday. And again, it could go all the way back up to Shreveport, go all the way up to Tupelo, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, and all the way over to Tallahassee, Florida for a few severe thunderstorms, probably as we get into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So I see a lot more people jumping in here. Again, let us know in chat where you're watching from tonight if you haven't already. Changing my chat over so I can see all the messages. Let us know if you're going to be impacted in the severe weather the next couple of days. And of course, make sure you hit that like button on this live stream. We're not going to be here too long tonight. We just wanted to jump on, answer any questions you might have regarding the severe weather for the next several days, and talk about our stream plan as well as we get into late tomorrow and on Wednesday. Real quick, while I wait for a few more of your questions or comments to come in chat, there's your flooding outlook for the remainder of the overnight hours tonight into tomorrow morning. That is a slight risk, the yellow shade of color, for some flash flooding overnight tonight and into the early morning hours tomorrow morning. As we go into day 2, check it out. We've got a moderate risk of flooding. We only have 4 levels on the Weather Prediction Center flooding risk. I know it's a little confusing because we've got 5 risks from the Storm Prediction Center on severe. We've only got 4 on flooding. So that is a level 3 out of 4 where you see that red shade of color there. Northern Louisiana, eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, getting into portions of western and northwestern Mississippi. So a pretty significant flash flooding threat as we get into the day tomorrow. And then look, if that's not enough, let's go over to Wednesday. There you go again. East central Mississippi, much of central and southern Alabama in a level 3 out of 4 flooding risk for Wednesday in a very large area. Again, from Tallahassee all the way up through Atlanta, Nashville, Tennessee, all the way back over to Little Rock and New Orleans. Level 2 out of 4 flooding risk again for Wednesday. So a lot of weather to talk about. There's your current dew points as we zoom back out, look at the country as a whole. Notice all the brown. That's very dry air across the country. And a lot of the country dry and cool this evening. There's your nationwide view. Dew points in the 20s and 30s across portions of Kansas, northern Oklahoma. But then look at this warm, juicy air. Dew points in the 50s, 60s, and even 70s in portions of Texas, Louisiana, up through Arkansas into Mississippi. And, of course, all that is thunderstorm fuel that is feeding these thunderstorms. Check it out. We've actually got an elevated thunderstorm back here in East Central Texas. Dew points are in the 20s back there, but we've got an elevated thunderstorm with a severe thunderstorm warning that goes, looks like, until 10:45 tonight for damaging wind up to quarter size east of Amarillo. So you don't see that every day. You don't see a severe thunderstorm warning with dew points in the 20s. So that's kind of interesting. There comes Darren in chat. Good evening, Darren. Let's see what you've got to say over here. Driving to Jackson, Mississippi tomorrow and to Lafayette, Louisiana Wednesday. There you go. So let's go back over and look at our day 2 outlook for Jackson, Mississippi. So where will you be driving from tomorrow, Darren? I'm assuming probably somewhere in the north or east from Jackson, because if you're going to Jackson and then Louisiana, probably coming from up north somewhere. So let me know where you're coming from so I can give you a little bit better outlook for tomorrow. But specifically for Jackson tomorrow, level 1 risk, but that's probably going to be late in the after dark into the overnight hours tomorrow. So the highest threat for severe weather tomorrow will be west of the Jackson area, and then you're going to be driving to Lafayette, Louisiana on Wednesday. Darren, there you go. There's Jackson at the top. There's Lafayette, Louisiana at the bottom. That is a level 3 risk for your entire drive on Wednesday. Just like always, depending on what time you're going to get going Wednesday morning, probably the earlier the better. We may have some ongoing showers and thunderstorms Wednesday morning, but most of the time, not always. I haven't looked at high-res models for Wednesday yet. I've been looking at tomorrow, but we'll probably do another live event, maybe severe weather coverage tomorrow night. We'll talk about that here in just a second. We'll update you on Wednesday, but like I said, if you get out going pretty early in the morning, you've probably got a pretty good shot of getting there before the worst of the weather hits on Wednesday for your drive from Jackson down to Lafayette. Kellen, Prairieville, Louisiana, near Baton Rouge. There you go. So outlook for tonight, you're good. Outlook for tomorrow, you are in a level 1. Let's see if we can get that to pop up on the map. It may be so small, it may not. Let's see. Anybody see Prairieville? I don't see it popping up there. No, don't see it popping up on our city name list. Or did I? No, there you go. So again, there's your tomorrow, level 1. That's likely going to be after dark. And then there's your Wednesday. Yep, you are very much in a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather on Wednesday near Baton Rouge. Tanya, welcome, Tanya. Glad to have you here tonight. Busy week indeed. That's not all. I can't. Can I show it? I can show it. There's your. I didn't know I could show it on this program. Using an old school program that hadn't used in a hot minute. There's your day 4 outlook. So there's Thursday. So we've been talking about tonight. We've been talking about tomorrow, and we've been talking about Wednesday. There's your Thursday outlooks. We've got a dual risk for Thursday already. Portions of the Southeast, including the Panhandle of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, and then another risk up into portions of Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia. That area continues to get hit by severe weather and tornadoes over and over again this year. So we hope we don't have a repeat in Ohio and West Virginia of what we had last week. And I don't think we've got a day 5. Yeah, don't have a day 5, thankfully. So we've already got that day 4 outlook going for areas further east. Yep, Darren said coming from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Yeah, you should be fine, Darren. Tomorrow, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, down to Jackson. May run into probably a lot of heavy rain, maybe some flooding along your way. If you stay on the interstate, you probably won't have much issues with flash flooding. But Cape Girardeau to Jackson tomorrow looks wet, especially as you get into Mississippi, but probably not a lot of severe weather to deal with tomorrow. All right, let's quickly go back to national radars. I see if y'all have any more questions or comments. Turn on my local storm reports. Let's turn on our watches as well. There we go. So again, all these little yellow boxes you're seeing here, those are hail reports. So you can just see here 1-inch hail near just east of Dallas, Texas earlier tonight. A 1.8-inch hail, golf ball size hail earlier. This is in Denton County, Texas, near the Double Oak community. Up here near the Fannin, Texas area. Had quarter-size hail there. So just a lot of hail reports. There's a couple of damaging wind reports out here north of Abilene. These the blue boxes you see there. 2 power poles blown down along with a few tree limbs. That's Haskell County, Texas. And then up here, this one says West Texas mesonet in Haskell measured a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust from that line of thunderstorms earlier tonight. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings continue. Winds up to 70 and 2.5-inch hail for that storm there just east of the Stamford, Texas area near Throckmorton. So tell you what we can do real quick. And you guys, again, hit us up in chat. There's several of you in here watching. And not a whole lot of you have said a whole lot or questioned a whole lot. That's great. If you don't have any questions or comments, that is fine. But if you do, don't be shy. Jump in chat. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. Let us know if you got to see that eclipse today. And we'll be here just a few more minutes, again, answering any questions you may have over the next few days of severe weather. So what I'm going to do is turn off our national radar. We're going to turn on our local NextRads and see if this doesn't crash our program here. So there's the big thunderstorm that produced a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust back in Haskell, Texas. And one thing I can do that's kind of cool with this program is we can actually, Jarvis, I know you're listening. Well, I figured out how to do storm tracks earlier. So we can actually draw a storm track. That didn't work. Let me try that again. Clear. My mouse didn't click in time. All right, we'll track the bottom part of the storm first, going east at about 45. So Newcastle is in that about 10:55 p.m. local time, and just south of Throckmorton, just north of the Woodson area at about 10:30. Let's clear that off, and let's go in and track the northern part of the storm coming through Throckmorton, or we can do the whole thing. There we go. Get a few more storms in there, or get a few more cities in there for you. So there you go. Throckmorton about 10:23, so it's on top of you in 5 or 10 minutes. The Newcastle area about 10:50. Olney, Texas about 10:50. And then near the Bryson and Graham, Texas between 11 o'clock and 11:10 tonight. So damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour in that thunderstorm, as well as, I think that said golf ball size hail. 2.5-inch hail. That's larger than golf ball size hail. I'm exhausted tonight, and I can't do the math in my head. Jarvis, how big is Riley, how big is 2.5-inch hail? It's not baseball. Baseball is 275, isn't it? I'm not sure. Y'all hit me up in chat. My brain's not firing on all cylinders tonight. But anyways, very big damaging hail possibly coming into the Throckmorton, Texas area. Let's go over and look at the high-res radar. That was level 3 radar. We can actually look at the high-resolution level 2. Let's look at velocity real quick, storm relative velocity, and see. Yeah, don't see any rotation in that storm, thankfully. But like I just said, we don't always have to have rotation to have big winds. Check out what radar is popping out. There's your possibly 70-mile-per-hour wind gust there southwest of Throckmorton. And then another area, possibly 65-mile-per-hour winds there west of the Throckmorton area. That's tennis ball size hail. Thank you, Riley. Tennis ball size hail possibly coming into the Throckmorton, Texas area, along with 65 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So just incredible. Let's quickly go over, look at our hail size. And let's see what numbers are coming off radar here. So yeah, radar estimating at least 2.2-inch hail. The warning says 2.5. So again, over 2-inch hail, very damaging. You'll get dents in your vehicle. You can have some broken windows as well. You can even have some shattered windows on your house if you've got that windblown hail coming at you, being that big. So definitely stay away from windows as this severe thunderstorm comes through. There we go. Storm Watcher 59. Let's see what you got. Tanya had a good view of the eclipse. Awesome, Tanya. We had, I'm in Alabama here. We had about 93% coverage. We got to see it all the way up to almost the 93% mark, and then it got super cloudy, and it started raining right at the maximum eclipse for us. And it was really dark, too, of course, with the sun being blocked out and super dark clouds. It was pretty cool to see. Stormwatcher 59. My son lives in Abbeville County, South Carolina, and works in Greer. How is that area looking? Good deal, Stormwatcher 59. So let's go back to day 3. That's the Weather Prediction Center. That's not the Storm Prediction Center. There we go. Let me turn my radar sites off just so they're not covering up our screen. So through Wednesday, South Carolina looking good. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. But as we talked about just a second ago, as we go into Thursday, it takes me just a second to navigate all these menus on this program. There's your Thursday outlook. So most of South Carolina is outlook for a severe weather risk for Thursday at this time. Dripping Springs, Texas, Brenda Young. Brenda, let me know what that's close to, because I've heard of Dripping Springs, Texas, but I don't remember where that is off the top of my head. I can Google that probably. Let's see. Dripping Springs, Oklahoma. I've never heard of Dripping Springs, Oklahoma. There we go. So you are there we go, west of Austin. So let's go west of Austin, Texas, and see what you got going on out there tonight. And more importantly, let's see if we can get your city name to pop up on here. There we go. We can't get all the city names because sometimes the cities are so small they won't pop up. But there you go. Brenda's who that was in Dripping Springs. So let's turn on our day one. Level 1 risk. I'm sorry, that's a level 2. Yellow's level 2 risk for tonight. And there you go, popping back up. Right now, going back over to radar, radar's completely quiet. I mean, there's no storms hundreds of miles from you. So right now, radar's completely quiet there near Austin, Texas. The Weather Prediction Center still has you in a level 1 risk, because maybe some flash flooding if we get more storms going tonight. There's tomorrow. So you are in that level 3 risk for tomorrow in that orange shade of color there near Austin. So stay weather aware there tomorrow near Austin and in Dripping Springs, Texas. And then the good news is day 3, that's nothing but a base map, no colors. So no severe weather threat for you guys on Wednesday. There you go, Tanya. Had it up until about the last 10 minutes. So about 3:10, it got cloudy. Yep, there you go. All right, let's go back out to our Southern Plains view. Go back to radar and turn our watches back on. Every time I go to radar, it turns my watches off, and I don't know why. There's our current view again. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings. That is a monster hailstorm there coming out of the Valley View, Texas, Collinsville, Texas area. Looks like 2-inch hail and wind gust up to 60. And look, it looks like the Weather Service up in Oklahoma is already warning on that sail before it even gets close to there. Look at that gap. So they're basically warning that storm, giving everybody there a early heads up that they're about to be in for a monster hailstorm up in Thackerville, Oklahoma, Marietta, Oklahoma, and what else is up there? That's about it. Kingston, Oklahoma. So they're issuing that severe thunderstorm warning in anticipation of that big hailstorm down near Gainesville, Texas. Sliding back out further to the west, there's your big blob of wind and hail coming back into Graham, Texas. Throckmorton, Texas, getting hammered right now. And elsewhere, like I said, a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain and flooding around the Shreveport area, just training rainfall. So probably going to have some pretty serious flood issues along and just east of Shreveport there along Interstate 20 from Minden, Louisiana, back through the Shreveport area. But thankfully, none of that is severe. It's noisy, but no severe warnings down there at this time. Another big thunderstorm in southwest Mississippi coming up near Macomb, Mississippi. Lots of lightning. You can see there on your screen, all the little white icons is a lightning strike coming into Magnolia, Mississippi, Macomb, Mississippi. And that one's loud and proud, but it is not severe at this time. All right, elsewhere, let's go back out and look at our national view real quick. So there's your national view. Look at that little sail up in Ohio. A couple little sails up there in West Virginia as well, near Parkersburg. Heavy rain, a little bit of lightning, but nothing is severe up there. A couple more sails going up there near Dayton, Ohio tonight. But again, just some heavy rain and nothing is severe with those. What I can do, while I'm looking at your chat, I can actually put this in motion and we can let that map. Plays a little animation. It will zoom around different parts of the country for you guys. Look at that rain and mountain snow coming in the Pacific Northwest up there in Seattle. Another storm coming in. And then y'all look at Phoenix for a minute while I look at chat. You'll notice that rotation, that low pressure area near Phoenix. That's what's going to be ejecting out to the east over the next couple of days, causing all the severe weather across the southern part of the country. So again, you'll see that little swirl near Phoenix as the map rotates around. And I think we're going to be flying up to, it didn't move us. I think we're going up to the northeast here in a minute. We'll see. Brenda, you are welcome. Your lawyer, could you do insight for Tuesday severe weather threat? Sure thing. We'll go over that again. Jarvis, do you have something? Yep, good deal. Wrap it in just a minute. Let's go back and look at the severe weather threat for Tuesday one more time as a recap for your lawyer. And guys, our stream plan is this. I wanted to save it to the end, but like what we're looking at is I'm going to be tied up, unfortunately, from like noon central to about 7 o'clock tomorrow. Jarvis is going to be on location as well, but he may be available to fire off a live stream in the early afternoon to mid-afternoon time frame. So probably our tentative plan for tomorrow is this. We may fire up one of our automated like storm chaser feeds and radar feed maybe late afternoon whenever the storms get going. And then Jarvis is able to break in, so he'll be able to break in and give you any tornado warning information if we have tornadoes popping. He does an outstanding job with that. Jarvis, you've gotten to be a pro and an expert with the tornado warning coverage, so we all appreciate that. And then I will jump in. We might see if we can get Dave back on the phone with like he did earlier with the eclipse coverage for tomorrow night once these storms really get going. So that's kind of our tentative plan for tomorrow. Don't have any solid time frames in mind just yet. It's going to be a fluid day. Then Wednesday, Jarvis is going to be back available probably by early afternoon. I'm available all day long on Wednesday. I'll be working on some other projects weather related, but far as streaming wise, I'm available all day. So probably do an extended live studio severe weather coverage on Wednesday afternoon throughout the evening hours whenever the storms get going. And like I said, that's our tentative plan for the next couple of days. We'll look at Thursday as we get a little bit closer to that, but it's a little bit early right now to figure out what we want to do that far out. So there's your day 2. There's your Tuesday lawyer. There's your severe weather threat for Tuesday again, highest in that orange shade of color. South of Dallas, near Waco, Killeen, Texas, Austin, all the way over to Houston, Beaumont, and the Alexandria, Louisiana area. And again, you do have a higher risk for tornadoes tomorrow than we had for today. So we'll quickly go back over and look at our tornado probabilities. Highest tornado probabilities there in the yellow shade of color, or I can do this to show you the significant tornado risk, and that just blanks everything else out and shows you where the highest risk for tornadoes are tomorrow there. East Central Texas into West Central Louisiana. Thank you for that, Storm Watcher. You're right. Thumbs up feeds the algorithm here on YouTube, and we'll get more viewers on these live streams. Appreciate that. But guys, with that, like I said, we just wanted to come live for about 30 minutes or so, do a quick discussion with you guys and answer any questions that you might have. There's a new severe thunderstorm watch I see they just issued north of Dallas, so including Dallas, all the way up through southern Oklahoma, Ardmore over to Atoka. And that's primarily for those big hailstorms coming out of North Texas into southern Oklahoma. So as we look at the dew points, remember, thunderstorms have to have instability, and look, they're going to quickly run out of fuel as they cross over into Oklahoma. So those will probably die out pretty rapidly once they move out of that green shade of color and move up into central Oklahoma later tonight. Real-time storms, anything Thursday for eastern Georgia, and could it be upgraded to enhanced? Yes, eastern Georgia. And we will jump off after this, Jarvis. Let me get this one last question here. SPC, day 4. So there you go for Thursday real-time storms. Pretty much Athens, Georgia, down to Columbus, Georgia, and all points south and east. That is a severe weather outlook right now. It's too early to have the slight risk, enhanced risk, moderate risk. They don't do that on day 4, but we'll get that as they go into the overnight hours tonight into tomorrow morning, because this will be the new day 3 outlook. So we'll see what they're talking about, whether we'll have a slight risk or enhanced. At this time, don't even worry about that. Just know you do have a severe weather threat on Thursday, so make sure you check back with us as we get closer to that time. But with that, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks to Jarvis for running the controls behind the scenes. Thanks to Dave and Jarvis again for that awesome eclipse stream they did later today. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, because we wouldn't do these if it were not for you guys. We'd just be sitting here talking to ourselves, and that would be super boring. So we appreciate you guys once again for tuning in and chiming in chat, and look for us tomorrow afternoon and throughout tomorrow evening for severe weather coverage right here on the channel. And we'll be back again on Wednesday with more live severe weather coverage. So with that, hope you all have a wonderful evening and stay safe.